Now we're gonna go ahead and show you guys everything about it, fire it up, and show you guys us actually using the rig and see how it's working. Now, there's a lot of unique features about this rig that only Joe Rogan is gonna have, and it's some technology you guys are gonna see coming in the future. This is the first rig ever. Now, let's first go ahead and talk about, we've talked about a little bit already, the monitors. You can see the massive 55-inch Samsung ARC 4K curved monitors, looking absolutely stunning. We got all the lights set up. One of the things we come around here, you can see the Philips Hue on top there that are obviously a nice little color. As we come around the back, we've already talked about it, paint match for this part as well. We have the speakers all hooked up. There's 5 points of sound around the entire rig. We got the subwoofer back here. All the wiring is tucked and ready to go. As well as we have the PC, obviously. This is running a 4090 RTX graphics card inside of it. There's a lot of other details. We'll show you a little bit of a shot of that. Now, one of the things I want to point out from the back, but we'll show you from the front because it's a little bit easier. This is brand new, never done before. Steering wheel holders, but what makes it cool is we'll go around to the other side. All 4 wheels that we have are not just powered here, they're also synced with software. So you can run everything about the wheels as they're powered here. You can add YouTube videos on them, you can add different parts of the screen on there. Anything you want can be run, it's not just powered, which has never been done before. And this just looks absolutely stunning because we're sending Joe with 4 different types of wheels, which we've showed you guys. And so now what we need to do is we need to run some iRacing. We're gonna grab one of these wheels and get it going and show you guys some actual footage of the rig running because I know you guys all want to see that. So I'm just gonna grab this off here. There we go. As you can see, I'm gonna take this back over to the rig. It's as simple as this. Go ahead, we have a quick release, slide this on. There we go. And now this is gonna power up, get everything ready to go, and we are ready to turn on iRacing, hit Road Atlanta, and run some laps. So now we're in iRacing. We're actually gonna show you guys setting up a AI race. And one of the things that you guys don't see, and a part of what Podium 1 does here, is everything that you need to run any sort of program that you want will be set up before the rig gets to you, because this takes a lot of man hours of figuring a lot of things out, and that's something that most people won't see. I'm gonna go in here and go into iRacing. Now, iRacing takes a little bit to learn, obviously its own software. We're gonna go ahead and do an AI race. I'm gonna pick a car. I love driving Porsches, so I'm just gonna do Porsche. I'm gonna type it in. We should have an RSR in here. Porsche, let's see, a GT3 Cup 992. Good with that. I'm gonna go over to the track. I love Road Atlanta. That's my quote unquote home track, but Road Atlanta right there. We're gonna do the full course. Then we're gonna go track options, blah, 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 short parade lap. So we're gonna let this load now. So one of the things about iRacing is that this is one of the most realistic feeling in my eyes. With the experience that I have, the most realistic feeling, because when you get into these races, your tires are cold, your brakes are cold. These are all things that need to be warmed up. And I've put people into iRacing before into a race, and they immediately go off track because they don't realize you have to warm the tires up, you have to feel it. And the great thing about these rigs, and at any level of rigs with iRacing, you can feel the car when it's sliding out. You can feel different things. You're understeering. Those are the points and the advantages of having rigs like this, because that's actual learning, because in real life you'll feel the car understeering or feeling the weight transfer, which is like the greatest thing about this. If you love driving, you love racing, anything about it, that is incredible. All right, so we're loading up into Road Atlanta right now. We're about to go into an AI race, just mess around, get some B-roll, and fully feel everything. Something that's really cool is you can see the color of the wheels. Obviously, this wheel is absolutely insane. It's got predicted lap, last lap, best lap. It shows you the track on here. But what's also really cool is once we get into the race, all of the wheels that are connected over here, all of the same features that are happening on here happen on those as well, and they're not even being played. So you'll see the shift lights and everything change. That wheel down there is showing RPMs and gear. It's crazy. We're gonna talk a little bit more about everything going on. Obviously, we have the wind feature. That is not just a fan, it's variable speeds as well as directional. So depending on if you're turning left, turning right, you can feel the wind from different directions. As well as this wheel has up to 27 Newton meters of force, which is enough to break your finger. And we're not gonna have it turned up all the way to that. We have it to a reasonable setting right now, so you can get that realistic feel. But I just can't wait to get out here, try this out, especially with this wheel, absolutely insane, and get racing.
All right, guys, we've got Microsoft Flight loaded up. We've got our HOTAS controls, which stands for hands-on throttle and stick. Now, there's a love-hate in the market for the Thrustmaster flight controls. Unlike Thrustmaster's racing line, which is pretty entry-level and probably not the best quality, their flight stuff is good. I mean, all metal box, metal switches, metal joystick, everything's great. Something to know, this is a racing simulator first with the ability to fly. So, can we upgrade the flight controls? 100%. Virpil, max flight systems, there's endless amounts of upgrades for flight, but for the racing combos where you have to flight, we like to keep it simple with HOTAS and then give the customer the ability to upgrade if they want. I'm flying in a Bell 407. I'm a big helicopter nerd. You'll notice I'm using this is actually an A10 Warthog setup. It works just like a collective. However, for the helicopter nerds or people that are really into helicopters, we can do full collectives, one-to-one. Robinson R44, R22, R66, MD500, any of the Bell series, EC130, etc. So I just wanted to get that out of the way because I know a lot of the nerds will be in the comments. But let's go ahead and get in our chopper here. I'm gonna get this steering wheel out of the way. You can see how easy it is. Quick release, it's off. Now I've got nothing in the way of what I'm looking at, and I can slowly and safely lift off here. I'm in Toronto. It's a fun place to fly. The city center here. And the coolest part about the flight, in my opinion, is that I can feel the rotor right now. I don't know if you can see. If I put like a water bottle here, maybe we'll do that a little test later. Put the water, you can actually see the vibrations. I can feel that in my butt right now. And so it makes me feel really connected to what's going on. So when I rotate, this whole thing is going to start to shift, and it's just super immersive. You can see the sunset here. The best thing about Microsoft is the graphics. It's got satellite of the entire world, so I can quite literally and virtually hit any airport in the whole world for the most part. I would say 90% of them. There's a lot of graphics mods we can do. So for instance, Toronto behind me, and I'll loop around here. You'll be able to see it looks good. It looks like Toronto, but I can actually upload a photorealistic version of Toronto, so the buildings look perfect in 4K. You see all the lights and the trains and whatever it is in the city. Right now it looks cool from afar. You get up close, you'll see because of the satellite data, some of the buildings almost looks like we're flying an I Am Legend or something, like the city's been overrun. But that, again, that's just because it's all satellite data. Pretty infinitely programmable and upgradable, both software and hardware wise. Quick little tour of the city. I'm gonna bring it back down for a landing. Let's see what I can do. Right now I've got data streaming on, so as I fly, it's actually going to be updating the world. It's going to be updating the graphics. We can bring this in. I'm coming in a little hot, 120s. We're going to pull our nose up, power down. We're going to flare. And now we're bleeding speed. We'll be able to bring this thing in for a nice soft landing. Now, something you guys need to watch out for is we've got full one-to-one Robinson and MD500 systems dropping. Meaning the collective, cyclic, anti-torque pedals are literally one-to-one replicas of the real thing. Full metal buttons. And let's see, what do you think, Harry? Think we can get this down gently?
Yeah, we better.
We've got an Airbus A320 about to taxi into us, but there we go. That's the flight. And again, you can do helicopters, jets, fighter jets, so F-18, DCS world, you can do A-10 Warthog, Apache, F-16, F-15. That's kind of endless. But for someone like Joe, who's not a pilot, maybe doesn't know all the systems, Microsoft's perfect because it can get him started in learning how airplanes and helicopters work, and then he can upgrade from there and get as really in-depth as he wants to. We're sending Joe with 4 wheels. I just want to give you guys a quick rundown of what we're sending him. So we've got the GSI Gomez Sim Industries GT Max 32. This is an all carbon wheel. It is hard as a rock, full carbon. It's not metal with carbon veneer over it. It's full carbon fiber construction here. We've got all of our funky switches, rotary dials, buttons. So you got pit speed limiter, DRS, you can program it all. And then of course you've got all of your telemetry data on the screen. You can cycle through like 100 different dashes. You can create your own dash. So like he could put like, you know, JRE Studios on there with like any sort of racing stuff that he wants, which is really cool. Same thing with the GSI in terms of the screen and some of the buttons and stuff, but this is the Hyper P1. Both of them, as you can see, are in scarlet. GSI calls these colorways here. So you've got all the red, which is going to match well with his Recaro seat, the podium, and the gray and stuff. So this is more of a, most would identify as a formula wheel. I think it's really good for like LMP cars and stuff. And even GT3 cars like a Porsche, Ferrari, they actually have more wheels typically like this, whereas this would be like more of a standard steering wheel. So this is going to be great for any of your IMSA stuff from LMPs, DPIs, etc. Then we've got these two wheels here. These are the Acetec wheels. Acetec makes amazing products. We use a lot of them in our turnkey rigs. We'll start with the Forte Formula wheel. This would be a perfect wheel for IndyCar, Formula wheel, any open wheel driving. And of course, you've got your funky switches, rotary dials. All of them, all four wheels have programmable LEDs. So you can change essentially, even when you press the button, what color it turns, lights up around the button there. And then we have the round comfort rim with the Forte button box. So very similar button box to the Formula wheel, except for this has a Alcantara round wheel. And this is gonna be perfect for sports car driving, say in Forza or Assetto Corsa, or really mainly drifting, right? You wanna be able to cycle the wheel through your hands without any sort of abrasion in the rim. So yeah, four wheels. He'll be able to easily swap them through the quick releases. So you just push this button, pull the wheel off, swap them through. He can drive pretty much anything with any wheel he wants. So the P1 Ultimate typically comes with just these two wheels. As you guys saw, we got carried away with the powered wheel holders that we built for Joe and wanted to be able to give him more options, because all the people that are going to be in the studio, since the sim's going in the studio, whether it's an Elon Musk or a crazy conspiracist on aliens, whatever it is, some guys might be into drifting, some might be into formula, some might be into sports cars, or even playing farming simulator. And now we've got four options for anyone to be able to drive whatever they want to.
The rig is now ready to be packed up and sent to Joe's studio in Texas. Now, we're not gonna be able to film at the studio, but we're hoping that he'll talk about it potentially in the future in some of his podcasts. Also, Tom Segura is gonna be delivered here in a few weeks as well. And so maybe they'll get some races together. But this is the final form of Joe Rogan's Sim. I'm glad we were able to show you guys the entire process.